Hello, I'm Chris Godber of Alien Rabbit. This is our channel. I wanted to just do a short video talking about my new novelette, Prometheus Inverted. It's a story I wrote, only finished quite recently. It's essentially it's not a space opera, obviously, because it's not a long form, it's a novelette. But I wanted to talk about something quite interesting. So it's actually received pretty good feedback overall. I've got 2 5-star reviews on Amazon, but I also got a 1-star review. Now, obviously, it's sort of weird when you're a writer to get very good criticism or very good sort of review of your book, but then it's also strange and bewildering as well to get such a negative review and it'll have such an extreme reaction from a reader. So I wanted to just explore some of those criticisms and just give my own thoughts on that, basically. It's not because I particularly think that they have any real... I was almost disappointed by the 1-star review. I was hoping I'd get a decent critique, something really to bounce off. But ultimately, I found I was actually disappointed with the 1-star review itself. It was only 4 lines. So I'll just read it verbatim, and then I'll read some of the other reviews and allow whoever's watching this to form their own opinion. Obviously, all books are going to connect to people, or people are not going to connect, and that's just a natural thing that happens with any book, right? You can't like every book. Not everybody likes the same thing. We're all individuals, and that's fine, isn't it? That's art, basically. People have a subjective experience of art, and fiction isn't any different. But anyway, I just wanted to read this short review I got. It was quite to the point, so I'll just read it. Although the ideas in the book are interesting, pushing the ideas from science fiction to philosophy didn't stimulate these discussions. The author pushes his thinking attempts without structure and takes them too far to end up pushing his atheist ideas. This book, in my opinion, uses science fiction as an excuse to spread the author's view of life. So obviously I'm the author, and I'll now say there will be some spoilers for the book. So if you've not read the book, maybe read it. It's available on Amazon. But I'll answer that criticism because I actually do disagree with it, and also it's. Obviously I don't mind that much. I mind a bit, obviously, 'cause everyone's got an ego, but I don't mind that much that someone didn't like the book. That's fine, obviously. Everyone's free to dislike something you've written as a writer. That's just part of being a writer. You can't connect with everyone, like I said. But I wasn't trying to push an idea of atheism in this book, I wouldn't say. In fact, I don't know where the readers got that idea from, because the book's not really about atheism. Atheism is just really a lack of faith in God or this higher power, right? Which, yeah, in some respects, I don't believe in the traditional notion of God. I'm a pantheist, basically, which means I believe in cosmology, really. The universe, that the universe is basically this chaotic fractal that we exist as part of. We're the thinking edge of it, right? But I don't believe in any religious conception. But I wasn't trying to push an ideology in terms of atheism or anything in this book. That is explored, but it's explored in the context of a character who is separated from his natural environment, which is Earth, which is where human beings, Homo sapiens, evolved. In an unnatural environment, i.e. space, on a mining ship. And is also in a culture which is going through the change of synthetic life becoming sentient and wanting some sort of level of equality, right? But anyway, there's a part in the book which does, where the character's philosophy is sort of expanded on somewhat. It's not really, it's like a chapter of the book where he explains his view of life. But it's not exactly my view of life. The reason I wanted to present that nihilistic canvas, if you were, that the character Dexter Connor explores in his philosophical work on the Meditations of Death, it's his moment of confronting the void, as in like confronting that nihilistic awakening, if you will, to the fact that there's a vast universe and he's a speck in it. But that's not meant really. I didn't really mean that as the end point of his journey, and that in fact that part occurs only about halfway through the novelette, or I think it's actually less than that. It's about a quarter of the way through the novelette. So it doesn't represent a final philosophy of the individual, Dexter Connor. It represents his challenge, if you want, in the story to overcome those that nihilistic view. That's represented by a higher force, if you will, in the book, which is his love for Melanie. So again, like I say, there's spoilers in this, but the higher value which he is valuing above, which does create meaning in his life, is, which you could say in some respects is cliche, right? It's a old age tale of a science man meets cultured woman. They have a relationship. He has to then try and work for something higher than just himself. Now, if that's an atheistic, cynical way to look at the world, then fair enough. And that's, it's like I said, like you can't as a writer connect to every reader. I was almost trying to make a sort of Albert Camus sort of. I was an exploration of Camus' philosophy in some respects in a sci-fi setting, which may sound pretentious, probably is, but there you go. That was the main philosophical idea, if any. Now, yes, obviously Camus' absurdism is atheistic in nature, but it doesn't therefore imply that life itself is meaningless. And that's the bigger philosophical point. If I was trying to make any in the book, it wasn't that, ha, religion is rubbish, ha, and we should just discount all of that. That part, all of that has a part in human culture going back, thousands of years. It's our first attempts at understanding the bigger picture. And Dexter Connor represents a very alienated, fragile individual in the book. You'll know that if you've read it, that he's not a secure person. He's extremely insecure and neurotic, and he's trying to deal with that through escapism in the book, which is one of the 5-star reviews actually said they especially enjoyed the scenes where Dexter Connor is experimenting with psychedelic drug use, but is clearly going off the rails with it to the point where it's a form of escapism. Now, obviously, got this cyberpunk like video loop running in the background, just some background visuals, but that was. I'm not necessarily putting forth the idea that that's a good thing, or that's cool or something like that. You have to have a serious exploration of those black and white world that represents. I think if you can include it in a narrative, really. I mean, obviously, you can go anywhere with a narrative. You can make it farcical as well. That can be funny, obviously. And if anyone who's ever participated in psychedelic or hallucinogenic experimentation will know full well that it is farcical as it can be tragic, right? But yeah, I sort of just wanted to address that. Like I said, it's not particularly because I've had a good spate of good reviews and then one like really, really bad, the worst you can get review, but I don't know, maybe something in that review did spark something off, which is natural. I mean, you're gonna respond more to negative criticism than to very, very positive criticism. But yeah, it just struck me as quite an unusual reason. And like I said, I'm not trying to push a philosophical belief beyond the transcendent power of love, and if you are a human being in a complicated world, all of us need that higher calling, which in Dexter's case is, well, it's science on one level, but ultimately it's the transcendent power of love represented by Melanie, right? Which I do believe, even though it's quite naive maybe in some respects, that love is the force that binds every individual across time, really. And now it would be a simple thing just to say that love is the only thing that unites us. Love is a complicated thing as much as any other emotion, and it could be overvalued in some respects, but it does have true value. I think if there is a truth to it, it is the fact that people can find higher purpose in what can often feel like a very meaningless life, right? So anyway, I guess that makes sense. I think I'll probably end this video here. I don't want to rattle on with this point too much because I think it's quite intuitively obvious, really. The book's available on Amazon. You can get it in paperback form. I've not done an ebook, though I may do soon, so it might make it easier for people to access. I've only really finished it recently. I have another one in the works, which is literally very, very in the works, but I've done this for it. Artificial Eric, which is very early days, so I can't really talk about it much, but it's a bit of a teaser, really. That's the drawing I did, and then I've done a digitally edited version of this as well for a proper front cover. But that's my next project I'm going to be working on. Not sure how long it'll be, not sure, probably a novella again. I've seemed to like that form. It suits my style of writing, I think, quite well. Which maybe I'll accept this. Maybe does seem to always be a philosophical trend in a lot of my work, but like I said, I don't think it's specifically because I'm trying to push a certain agenda, or I'm asking questions really more than anything else, not so much providing easy answers. And that's one of the reasons why I'm dealing with quite a lot of contemporary hot topics around technology, because it's literally forming our future, and it is things that we should probably start considering in terms of where we are now, which is what science fiction always does, right? It takes many forms, of course, but yeah. In terms of can the writing be improved, well, that's always happening. I'm always trying to improve my writing abilities, and I'm not immune to criticism from that, but I guess it did hurt me a bit, that critique, and how could it not, really? But I read the really nice glowing review I got, actually, so I may as well. So this is from a reader who obviously did connect to it very well and understood I guess what I was trying to go for with it. But then obviously it's glowing review, so I would say that, right? But yeah, Prometheus Inverted by Mr. Chris Godber is an absolute masterpiece that transcends the boundaries of traditional storytelling. From the very first page, I was gripped by the author's vivid imagination and unparalleled storytelling prowess. The narrative is a thrilling rollercoaster ride, seamlessly blending elements of science fiction, mystery, and philosophy. Mr. Godber takes readers on an unforgettable journey through uncharted territories, challenging our perceptions and unravelling the mysteries of the universe. The characters are exceptionally well developed, each with their own complexities and motivations. The protagonist's journey is both relatable and extraordinary, making it easy for readers to connect with the story on a profound level. What sets Prometheus Inverted apart is its thought-provoking exploration of existential themes. The author delves into the very fabric of human existence, questioning our purpose and the boundaries of knowledge. The philosophical undertones add a layer of depth to the narrative, elevating it to a work of art that lingers in the mind long after the final page is turned. The writing style is poetic and immersive, painting vivid images in the reader's mind. Every sentence is carefully crafted, contributing to the overall atmosphere of the story. The pacing is impeccable, keeping the suspense and intrigue alive from start to finish. In conclusion, Prometheus Inverted is a literary gem that deserves every bit of its 5-star rating. Mr. Chris Godber has created a work of art that challenges, inspires, and captivates. I wholeheartedly recommend the book to anyone seeking a mind-bending and intellectually stimulating experience. So that obviously made me feel really nice, getting that. Then who wouldn't feel nice? Not nice, that's the wrong word for it. Nice is such a... Yeah, obviously I like getting that sort of... I almost don't know how to take it, to be honest, but I take it, take it inside, and that makes me feel good, obviously. But obviously negative criticism is as useful as positive glowing criticism as well, but I'm now rambling on too long. It's already been on for 15 minutes. Check it out if you want to read it. I will try and post some more content up on here, probably more things like this where it's like more just me chatting and exploring. Hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe if you are a fan of fiction, poetry, philosophy. Obviously Alien Rabbit's a independent publisher. Keep going by basically selling books, and so if you're interested in individual authors, then please support them by buying the books. Alright, in a bit.